It's going to take decades to clean up the mess that our terrible infant president is creating. Some things will take much longer and will leave permanent scars. Other Trump damage, like loss of endangered species, will be impossible to fix. We're told that the Donald Trump Environmental Protection Agency intends to sharply curtail rules on methane emissions. It's possible that methane isn't a focal point of your day, so I'll explain what this newest EPA ruling will mean to you. Methane is likely the gas that burns in your home furnace and water heater. Burning natural gas instead of other fossil fuels produces less carbon dioxide, so it adds less to global warming, and it's cheaper to use too. That's where the methane happy stuff ends. The rest requires a little story to explain it. The phenomenally destructive Supreme Court decision in Citizens United versus Federal Election Commission granted big money interests, deep pocket individuals and corporations, the power to dominate and control our politics using their cash. That was more than surprising, since the case was only about the Citizens United organization wanting to show their movie trashing Hillary Clinton right before each primary in 2008. It wasn't about campaign contributions and domination of politics. The McCain-Feingold Act prohibited such electioneering within 30 days of a primary, so Citizens United was enjoined by the district court from showing their 30-minute attack ad that was designed to influence the primary elections. They filed suit, and the case wound up before the Supreme Court, which reversed the district and appellate court rulings against Citizens United. That should have been the end of the case, but it wasn't. Chief Justice John Roberts ordered the attorneys to return to the court to re-litigate the case, this time testing the rights of corporations and speech equivalency. In that gross distortion of the original case, the 5-4 conservative majority decided that corporations have all the same rights as flesh and blood human beings, including the right to make campaign contributions and air political advertising. As outrageous as that is, if you're a constitutional purist, get that quote. In addressing an issue that was not raised by the litigants, the majority changed the case to give themselves an opportunity to change the law, close quote. That is from the blistering dissent of this decision written by Justice John Paul Stevens. Effectively, the Supreme Court legislated from the bench on issues that were not in contest in this case. Citizens United v. FEC had nothing to do with human rights or corporate rights or political contributions, but its adverse effect in those areas will be felt for a very long time. Dig into the case a little deeper and you'll have a new and dark understanding of Chief Justice John Roberts. Be sure to pay attention to his Senate confirmation hearings, where he did the now familiar confirmation dance, spewing volumes of words while not answering questions. More specifically, though, he invoked stare decisis, the principle of not upsetting prior court decisions and making current decisions based upon precedent. Roberts had a solid belief in that, he told us. Turns out that stare decisis actually wasn't a real important thing to John Roberts, and that allowed him to legislate from the bench. That bench created new law, gave us things like the NRA being such a powerful campaign contributor to legislators that our elected officials refused to create the gun safety legislation that 90% of Americans want them to create. Sadly, we have a government of, by, and for big money, not you and me. Here's how that connects with the EPA lifting methane emission regulations. Point 1. Over the course of 20 years, methane released into the atmosphere has 86 times more powerful global warming effect than does carbon dioxide. The EPA has taken down its webpage detailing this. Point 2, natural gas comes largely from fracking wells, and as many as 50% of them leak methane into the atmosphere. The page for that has been taken down from the EPA site too. Point 3, the Obama administration generated regulations to cause the actors in the methane extraction business to take action to reduce methane emissions. Point 4. Trump's EPA is in the process of trashing those Obama-era regulations and allowing essentially uninhibited methane leakage into the atmosphere. Some major oil companies have stated that they are opposed to the change the EPA is proposing. Do your own math on why they do that, especially since their own industry association and lobbying arm, the American Petroleum Institute, has come out in favor of EPA's proposal to eliminate methane emission regulations. There's a really good chance that you are not in favor of the EPA's proposal that will dramatically increase the rate of global warming. The problem for you is that our legislators don't really care what you think about that, any more than they care about the 90% likelihood that you want strict gun safety regulations. Just like healthcare, immigration reform, voting rights, education, and so many other issues, you're not getting what you want, and it can all be traced back to Citizens United. That's now compounded by Trump's ongoing snit over being dissed by President Obama at the White House Correspondents' Dinner in 2011. Since that time, Trump has been doing everything he can to negate everything Obama accomplished, including DACA, regardless of the harm he does to you and all of us, our allies, and our planet. Such is the behavior of this terrible infant president. We are paying the price for his temper tantrum, and as I said earlier, it will take decades to clean up his mess. I'm Jack Altshuler.